So wait, you weren't an actor, right?
Kevin's like, either I'm sending you back to New Jersey or you're going to go into rehab. So I went to rehab.
You did 7 movies before you could stop roofing.
News to the news.
It's you want to have an intimate moment.
I'm going to rip off your head and tear out your fucking soul.
You've probably been in some of the most sketch sitches, but you were like, I don't want to get on the Southwest.
No, I'm just kidding.
Buddy.
Yeah, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad I finally got to get on here. I know we've been trying. I've been trying. We've been trying now for a minute because we keep seeing each other, and then you're in town and you're out of town. I'm out of town, which is funny because you're right. I keep crossing clubs where it's like, next week, Jamie, or Jamie just left.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
We've been co-adjacent for like probably 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely 2000.
When did Clerks come out?
So Clerks came out in 94.
So 31 years.
Yeah.
I didn't really start getting until 95.
Yeah.
So was Clerks your very first thing?
Clerks was the very first thing. So Clerks, I was 17 when we filmed it.
Really?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 51.
17. So okay. So no. If it's 94.
Well,
when
sorry,
okay.
but remember it was an indie movie, so Kevin had to edit it on a Steenbeck film, cut slices. It took him months and months to edit it.
What year did you film it?
We filmed it, and it was 1992, almost 3. I think it was very 2, almost going on 3. Like, you know what I mean? Like a few months into 93. And then it came out in 100 screens, I believe, in 94.
So wait, you weren't an actor, right?
No, Kevin and I grew up in the same town, and I went to we went to the same high school, but he's 4 years older than me. Matter of fact, he just turned August 2nd. He turned 55. So we didn't hang out in high school, but I knew who he was. Then when he graduated high school, he worked at this community center in our town in New Jersey. And I used to go there as a kid. I didn't say I was a kid, but I was still like 14. I would say 14, teenager. I'd go to the community center and I would hang out there till my grandma got home, or my mom or whoever I lived with at the time. But and he worked there with Walt Flanagan, Brian Johnson. For anyone who's seen Comic Book Men, those guys, we all actually grew up together. And I used to go in there and they'd be reading comics and they'd be sitting at a table and they'd be playing pool, and I would challenge them in pool and foosball and all that. And Kevin and I just sort of clicked. And then he quit there and worked at the Quick Stop where Clerks was filmed. And that's when he started writing his script. And I used to help him on Sundays. And he said one day, he's like, bro, man, I feel like you have a really weird, genuine type of sense of humor that I think is funny, but I wonder if other people would find it weird or funny. So I'm writing a script right now and I'm putting a part in there for you based on you. And I want you to play yourself, Jay. And I was like, all right, whatever. And honestly, I felt that way. I was like, whatever. Because back then it wasn't like people were like, I'm doing this podcast. I'm shooting a YouTube video. Excuse me. I'm doing all these things. Back then it was like, there was VHS shoulder cameras, like not many people had them. And I just was like, whatever. And then months later, he like rented the cameras. He got a schedule together, and guys came from from out of town to do the camera operating and the sound and producing. And he's like, we're starting to film in 2 weeks, a month, memorize the script. We're going to start filming at the end of the night. I'm going to close the convenience store at 10 o'clock when it's supposed to close. And we're going to film from 10 o'clock to like 3 in the morning.
He got the approval, or he just did it?
No, he got the approval. I think, well, you know what? That's not true. I believe he asked, they wanted, I'm not sure if they were like, sometimes you can, but they didn't understand. I think they gave him approval to like mess around a little bit in the store, but I don't think they realized that he was going to film a full movie like in there with cameras and people coming in like I honestly am not 100%, but I believe that it was like sort of like, oh, you can shut down and hang out for a couple hours and do some stuff, but I don't think they knew the extent of it.
So you were not even an actor.
No.
You were just a fucking funny dude. You're swag. I mean, the first thing I saw about you is you had so much swag.
Yeah.
You just had attitude.
Yeah, sort of. Look, yeah, Kevin felt like
You
the
naturally
same, yeah.
could be on camera.
I mean, no, I was really nervous. I mean, I
Didn't
guess.
seem like it.
Well, thank you.
At all.
No, the first movie, I was so nervous. I remember like being like, oh my gosh, like if we were inside like right now, like imagine right now while we're sitting here, and this was like then, and you had Kyle in here and another person in here hanging out doing stuff. I'd be like, yo, Jamie, can you ask them to wait outside while we talk?
Yeah.
Because I would be so nervous. So I would ask Kevin to ask everyone inside the store to go outside, except for the people that had to be there, of course, like Brian O'Halloran, Dante, or Jeff. But anyone else that was just hanging out, trying to help out, like move lights or do stuff, I would be like, hey, can they wait outside? But
Dude, I get that. It's
yeah,
because
nerve-wracking.
you want to have an intimate moment and find out what's going on.
Yeah, and I was nervous. I like felt like I was gonna mess up my dialogue. I've never planned on acting. And luckily I got through Clerks. But after that, same thing. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, that was fun. We filmed a movie, me and my friends. And
Wait, did you have dialogue or did you make it up?
No, I did have dialogue. The first movie I had dialogue.
Noids.
Well, some of it was made up. That part was made up.
Yeah.
Kevin was like, hey, it's really quiet when we walk in the store, and I don't want dead space. So he said, make something up. So that's when I was like, noise, smoke, and we pack a rush, you know.
Yeah.
But for
Snooches?
Snooches, it was written, but I made that up because it started off as neh. Like I'd be like, yo, Jamie, I hate that hat. Nah. And that meant I'm just kidding. Right? So, and I was, back then I was so obnoxious that I had to say it all the time. Because I'd be like, yo, Jamie, your hat's stupid. And I'd be like, nah. And you'd be like, oh, all right, thanks, bro. And I'd be like, your shoes are stupid too. Nah.
Yeah.
You know, your shirt's stupid. Nah. And I would just keep going on. Oh, I would overdo it, to be honest, probably most of the time. But I would say it constantly, and then nah turned into nooch. And then snooch. Yeah.
Dude, nooch is you.
Thanks. Yes.
All you, bro.
Yeah.
Like I equate Noochies with you as I equate Shizzle or with Snoop. You know what I mean? Noochies is you, bro.
I love it.
So you do the movie. You're 17. It comes out when you're like 20.
I think I'm 19. I think I'm
19.
I think I'm 19.
How does it get to success? Kevin is a true independent voice.
Yeah, at that point, he brought it to Sundance.
How did he get in?
He got in, but you know what? I wish I can give it somewhat some context of how, but I don't know the exact details. But he always says it's like literally like one guy made it happen because Kevin got into this film festival like in New York, and there was like 2 screenings. He said the first screening literally no one was in there. The second screening it was him, Scott Mosier, and 4 random people in the audience. And one of them was this guy named Bob. I can't believe I can't remember his name, but his name was Bob
Weinstein.
But no, it wasn't him. It was Bob, someone else who worked. I guess he worked on in the Variety or something like that. And he happened to see the movie and gave it to someone else, who then like was like, oh my gosh, you got to see this. And that was what they like got it into Sundance or whatever. But like literally it was almost like dead. Like he didn't get, I forget, again, Kevin tells the story better, but the way he tells it, if this one guy wasn't sitting in that theater, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. Because I guess Kevin like submitted it at first, and it like didn't. There were so many things that it didn't get there in time. But then this guy Bob was like, "You have to watch this," and he had connections, luckily, and that those people saw it, and then it got into Sundance Film Festival.
So it gets into Sundance.
Yes,
you go.
I don't get to go. It's Clerks, I didn't get to go. Kevin and Scott Mosier went. There was no money. There was no money. Kevin borrowed money to even finish the movie. I went back to work, which was roofing. I put roofs on houses. So I'm just roofing. Kevin's like, I'm going to Sundance Film Festival. I had no idea what that was. I was like, oh, cool. He's like, that's where we're going to try to let people see the movie and see if we could sell it. And then he came home. I remember like that weekend or a couple of weeks later, it was like Miramax bought the movie, and he brought us all out to like a steak place and gave like everyone that was in the movie, he brought them out to eat and said, "Yo, everyone, the movie got bought." And it's gonna, be on like 100 screens and all of that. And he like gave everyone a little money because I guess he was able to pay back what he spent. And then after he was done, he had like a little chunk of change to pay everyone like a couple $1,000
at dinner.
Yeah.
Everyone got an envelope.
He wrote checks. He gave everyone an envelope at the
What'd
dinner.
you get?
I think it was like $2,000. I think it was like $1,500, $2,000, and it's free steak dinner. Yes. Oh, it was big, and that was big for me, man. I was remember I'm seven. Yeah, hell yeah. And I was like 18, especially when you don't plan on getting paid. I didn't plan on getting paid. I didn't plan on. And then even better, then he's like, bro, we got a 3-picture deal, and I'm making this movie. The first movie we're making is with Universal called Mallrats, and that's when he was like, we're gonna be going to Minnesota, and we're gonna be filming Mallrats, and I was like, oh my gosh. Cool.
Wait,
but
so hold on. You get the movie.
Yeah.
Miramax buys it.
Yes.
They give him a 3-picture deal as soon as they saw it?
I don't know.
Or it had to come out?
I think
it was a huge.
Yes. I don't know when the 3-picture deal came into place, but I believe he signed like a deal. They bought the movie, and then he got some kind of deal like, hey, we get the first rights to see your next 3 movies. I believe they saw Mallrats and didn't want to do it, and that's why Miramax didn't do Mallrats. Universal did. But again, at that point, I feel like Kevin had already had one movie out in theaters. It was signed by Miramax, and then Chasing Amy he made next with Miramax, and then Dogma, and then Strikes Back. I think were the 3 movies he wound up doing with.
Clerks was huge. How much did it make?
I don't know how much it made, honestly. I mean, I think it definitely lasted a long. I don't know how much money it actually made when it came out. But what I've learned over time, it's such a bummer. Is like I didn't realize when you actually sell a movie, it ain't just like, hey, we like this movie that you made, like Clerks, and we're gonna put it on screens, and you get to own the rights forever. I didn't realize like when they buy the movie, it's theirs. Mallrats is Universal's. Kevin's been wanting to do a sequel to Mallrats forever, but Universal owns the rights, and Universal's like, we don't want to do it, and we're like, you don't need to spend any money. We want to spend the money because this person has money. But
they won't even let you.
They won't do that. They're like, we don't do that. I guess Universal's known for not ever outsourcing like their thing. They put the scripts in their vault, and if they don't want to make it themselves, they don't let anyone else make it. That's the vibe we've gotten in. Yeah, so it's been sitting there, and it's a bummer because we've had a few people like Kevin's had people with money interested in making a sequel, and Kevin has a script already, and it's super funny. I think it would be so much fun. So,
dude, it's crazy that it even happens to him, a guy who knows how to keep all the rights and make all his own stuff.
It's crazy.
Now, hold on. So you do the movie. Were you in Mallrats?
I was in Mallrats.
You were in. I knew you were, but big part.
It was a pretty decent part. It was in and out. We weren't the main characters. It was about T.S. and Brody, which was Jason Lee and Jeremy London.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny story about this. I've told it before, but do you know, because this was now a studio movie, and they're like, Jason Mewes, Kevin's like, look, I have a part for this character, Jay. I play
you were
Salvo.
The same characters from Clerks and Mallrats?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, but what's so great, too, though, is because Kevin is directing and he wrote the Mallrats, Universal's like, hey, the guy you have playing Jay isn't an actor. He's never done any movies besides Clerks, and he's never had any acting classes or anything. How do we know he can do it? He has to audition for his own character. So I had to audition, but they were still nervous. So they held other auditions, and you know who came in? Seth Green, Mark Paul Gosselaar, Tobey Maguire. Like crazy amount of people came in to play. Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, for the character Jay.
Oh, wow.
And you know who they had on hold? They were like, we're not paying for Mewes to go to Minnesota. We want to see his first 2 days of dailies before we put him in a hotel and give him per diem. So I had to sleep on Kevin's floor during rehearsals and during that, and Kevin had to spend money to fly me out. On hold in case they didn't like me. Seth Green. Can you imagine Mallrats? Seth Green's like, Stooge to the news. Oh my God, it's so funny. People, Kevin has told that story before as well, but it's funny because I just saw Seth, and I like Seth's great. Every time I see him, pleasant, and I always want to ask him, like, do you remember that? And were you excited, or did you care? But I don't know if he like remembers or he gives a crap. You know, he's done his thing, but. Anyway, so yes, so then they like what they see. The first 2 days, the daily, the producers and the studios, like, we love Mewes. They put me in my own room and give me per diem, and we film Mallrats.
Yeah.
After Mallrats, on Mallrats, there's Film Threat magazine. You know, internet's not there yet.
No.
So there's magazine. This guy came and stayed the whole time doing article on Mallrats and Kevin Smith. And his name's Malcolm Ingram. Malcolm Ingram, when we're done, says, hey, I have a movie I wrote, and I have $100,000. I want to do this indie movie in Vancouver, and I want you to be in it. So me, Jason Lee, Renee Humphreys all go to Vancouver right after Mallrats, and we film an indie movie called Drawing Flies.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a little indie movie.
Was it drama?
Yeah, it was about a bunch of kids going out searching for Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Vancouver. And again, a blast. It was a blast. Then I come home, and I'm still doing construction and stuff, right? And then we do Chasing Amy, which was only 1 day. I have 1 day on that.
And you're Jay in that.
I'm Jay in that. I
love
film
it.
1 day. But again, pay, you know what I mean? It's like, this is like my third studio movie, so I'm getting SAG minimum, whatever, which after taxes is, what, $6,000, $7,000 back then?
Yeah.
So I do that, but then after that, I'm still doing construction and delivering pizza and stuff like that. And it really wasn't until Dogma that I went out, and we did that in Pittsburgh. And at that point, I had done another indie movie called Vulgar, like 2 days on that. And then I went to Pittsburgh and did Dogma, and that's sort of when I stopped roofing and doing construction and was like, wow, I've done like 7 movies. Maybe this is what I can do for the rest of my life. And that's sort of where things started.
Dude,
so yeah.
Think about that. You did 7 movies before you could stop roofing, and not like indie straight to Pakistan Redbox.
No.
These were movies that were in theaters and hits.
Yeah.
And even if they weren't huge hits, they were cultural hits. All of them made an impact. I read for most of those movies, except Clerks, but like I've definitely read for like most of those movies.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, and it's funny because people, especially where I grew up, didn't understand that. That like I come home from Pittsburgh, they're like, "Bro, you just made another movie, man. How many houses you gonna buy? How many cars?" I'm like, bro. I was like, I got paid. I think for Dogma, which was. So that was, so Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma. So it was the 4th movie that Kevin made. Well, 3 of them were studio, 1 was indie, and then I did 2 other indie movies. So yeah, 4, 5, 6. So 6 movies, 3 indie, 3 studio. And I still, after Dogma, I didn't have the money to stop working. It's just from there, it was like afterwards, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to try to do. And I still did work. That's not true. I still sort of worked. Kevin opened up a comic book store called Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. And then we had a website. At that point, we were able to open up a website where we sold Jay and Silent Bob t-shirts, Mallrats shirts, Mallrats posters. And we still do that. But that was right around the time we did that. So I worked in the warehouse boxing up stuff. Now, it was our own stuff, but I still worked there, and and I still got a paycheck from it. And I worked in the comic book store. So that... But I didn't have to do the construction, and now I still was working in my world and was going on auditions and trying to work on other stuff. And it's crazy. But yeah, at that point, I swear if you add up all the money, I feel like Clerks was $2,000. I think Mallrats was $5,000 after taxes. Chasing Amy, I think, was $8,000 after taxes.
Okay.
The 2 indie movies I did in Canada, I think I got paid like $20,000, maybe $10,000 each after taxes.
We're probably
maybe
at 35
less.
grand total so far.
Yeah, so we're about 35. Dogma, I think I got paid 50.
$85 grand.
So 85
after taxes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like what is that? Still 30 grand. Maybe
Yeah.
if I got paid 50, I probably got 30 after taxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's 7 movies,
Maybe 70 grand.
70 grand after
Mm-hmm.
taxes, right? So, and again, that's how many years from 94, Mallrats was, 92 to 99.
Yeah. It was,
So yeah, so and all that. So it's a decent chunk of change back then and all that, but not enough to be like, I'm gonna buy 5 houses and 3 cars and
No.
it's crazy, but and again, I get it. My friends didn't get it. They're like, oh my God, we saw you in a studio movie in the theater and it's awesome. But that's really, I feel like after Dogma, it was when I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. Like, I don't want to do roofing anymore, and I sort of started trying to do other things and all of that. So.
I was thinking about a similar thing the other day when I did Scream, and then I lived right down the street on Highland in a one-room apartment, and then it became a hit, but I don't want to spend any money. Not like I wasn't making a ton. And then I got Scream 2, and I got a pretty good paycheck. I still lived in that apartment. So it was only after Scream 2 and like 2 other jobs before I decided, okay, maybe I can buy something.
Yeah,
but like I was in, like at the height of that, being in every magazine, I was in a bachelor apartment.
No, I get it. Yeah, because you're like, I don't want to spend all my money on this, and then I'm like, then it's gone. It's tough. It's.
But people don't realize.
No.
How it is. But so you and I did a movie together.
Yeah, we did Strikes Back together.
Yes, but actually, I think we did 2 movies.
So we did Strike Back.
Yes.
Which is great, and then we did. We've also done, well, of course, Jack's Things.
Well, yeah, but
that's not a movie. But there's another
Scream
movie.
3.
Scream 3.
You were in
yes.
Scream 3. But
Yeah.
we were never in any scenes.
No,
we were in scenes in Strike Back, but you were over there.
Yeah,
and I was Shaka with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And so, but then Scream 3 was like super meta.
Yeah. It was awesome. We were in line and we were like, "Yo, that's Cotty Chung." Yeah, but
that's crazy because that's like a dramatic movie. But then here you guys are. Isn't that wild?
It is
the
awesome.
crossover.
It really is.
Your 2 characters of how many universes are in.
It
You
really
were
is.
Jay and Silent Bob, but you were really playing yourselves, correct?
Yes.
In Scream 3.
Yeah, we were playing Jam. Yeah, and how crazy that then also
Not in the set of Stab.
no.
Okay.
No.
You know
yeah.
what that is.
And then but then remember, and then Kevin had the like spoof when is that when this Strikes Back. Besides, so it was cool because you were in it, but then remember people were running through. They were Jay and Bob were chasing. Or Will Ferrell was chasing Jay and Bob.
Yes.
And they ran through a set, and in the set was Gus Van Sant, right? Was he the one? Am I getting the director wrong? Am I horrible?
Strikes Back?
Yeah. Is who's the director of Scream or the?
That was
right?
Wes.
Wes Craven. Oh
Wes.
my God, I'm such a fool.
No.
Wes Craven was in Strike Back, I believe, counting money. If I'm correct,
He was?
I swear that we were running through and we go through a set of Scream. And it's like a thing. Kyle, can you look stuff like that up?
Wow.
I know. Yeah. If I'm right, it's gonna be funny because if I'm wrong, I'm like I'm realizing that I'm messing up my own movie.
No, you're fine.
But it was 2001. But I swear that we run through and he's sitting in a chair and we're like Wes, like Jay and Bob, and they're yelling at what Shannon. Wait, someone's yelling at Wes. Anyway, I'm hoping he can look it up. It's true, right? So I didn't know if you realized that, but yeah. So we go through the set of Scream, and Wes is sitting in the. Well, it doesn't really say. I don't think, but it was just like a moment where it's like we're in line in actual Scream 3, Jay and Bob, and then afterwards, like in Strikes Back, we run through the set of Scream with Wes, and anyway, it was pretty cool.
But Jason Biggs, I think, was in line in Strikes Back too. It was wild.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, it is. I mean, you know more. So wait, when was your first movie or acting or whatever? And are you from here? Where are you from? You grew up
Philly.
You're from Philly.
So I'm right over.
There you go. East Coast. Let's go.
Nooch is like I knew that was you because I knew that was a Jersey thing. It's different than Philly.
Yeah.
Wait, but you're not from like Marlton or Bergen. Where are you? What part of Jersey?
I'm Central Jersey, which is Highland. Most people know Asbury Park.
Yeah,
because it's Stone Pony.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
So we're like a little bit north of that, like 15 minutes north in Highlands, right by Sandy Hook and Seabright. And like a lot of people haven't heard of that town because it's a small town.
Yeah, I'm from Upper Darby, which is right outside West Philly. But Upper Darby from my neighborhood, which is crazy, is Sherry O'Terry, Tina Fey, but we didn't know each other. West Philly's right here. Will Smith. Overbrook is Seth Green, Will Chamberlain, and Villanova is Kevin Bacon.
Oh, wow.
That's the whole, but there's a lot more, but that's a Philly connection.
No, that's
and
awesome.
Jersey is a ton of people too.
Yeah. And so you came out, did you come out here because you're like, this is what I want to do?
Long story, I just was working at Pizza Hut.
Okay.
And I graduated high school. I didn't want to even go to college. And I took a local acting class. And then through that, I met a woman who basically got me to meet on the set of a movie. And they asked me if I had these certain clothes. And I said yes. And they said, can you be here tomorrow at 5 a.m.? And I did. And I wore these clothes. And for 3 days, I was an extra on a movie called Dead Poets Society.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
And then from that, I was like, bit. I was like,
That's
this is
awesome.
done. So I wanted to act, but I didn't know anything about it.
I
So,
know you're saying,
but I just wanted to start doing background because I thought this is the cool. Just doing background. I was at Domino's Pizza on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, I was at a craft service table with Ron Williams next to me. It's insane. That was the bizarrest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, but they would shoot movies in Philly. They shot Clean and Sober. I don't know if you remember Michael Keaton movie. That was 2 parishes over. They shot stuff in Philly a lot.
Yeah.
And Jersey.
It's so funny because you say Will Smith because I forgot in the Fresh Prince he's like in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Oh yeah,
a playground, and I didn't realize that's like real. That's awesome.
That's all real.
Yeah.
So, dude, when you're there, I mean, I think we had the best era.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
like you're saying about that 90s.
Yeah, like people are more and more, they're just reaching for it so bad, and they're so good. Even Quentin Tarantino, I saw on a pod the other day, and he said he didn't know the 90s were going to be the 70s part 2, meaning he thinks the best, some of the best, I don't want to misquote him, but like some of the best movies ever were in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then when he was doing the 90s, he thought it was going to be good. He didn't, but now the 90s is even better than he thought. Yeah. And we were so lucky to be a part of that.
Oh, 100%. It's so different now. Like, again, I feel like Clerks, I don't think Clerks would have ever, if Kevin was sitting here and we were in Jersey right now and we did an indie movie, I don't know if it would have come across the same. I feel like, you know what I mean? It's just like now there's so much content with phones and TikToks and the Vines and those are the people. It's so... It blows me away, and it is like what I wanted to ask you too is even this, like I remember like Kevin and I when we first started doing our podcast, like a big part of trying to promote it was like hoping you get on a TV show, a morning show, radio show to hey, we're going to be coming to your town in Philly at the whatever theater or whatever. And I feel like now a big part of like being like, hey, I'm coming to do the Helium Comedy Club and wherever is social media clips, like podcasts. Do you feel like, for the most part, when you do a tour, let's say next week you're going to Spokane, Seattle, blah, blah, blah. Do you feel like that a big part of it is your podcast? Like when people come up and they go, bro, I'm so glad I got to see you tonight. They're like, I'm so glad I listened to your podcast. Or do you feel like you're social? Like, have you ever paid attention? Like
100%.
Yeah.
I look at doing a podcast as just another form of social media. Mm-hmm. So it's like you got X and, Insta and all that. But people go, oh, dude, I'm starting to see it. Like I'll do something and people go, yo, I saw you on Tiger Belly or I saw you on Birdcast. Like podcasts are their destinations. Yeah. So that being on other people's podcasts that are bigger than mine has definitely helped me. But also people are slowly starting to discover mine.
Yeah.
And they go, yo, dude, I really like your pod. And they'll come up to me in the line at the cons and they'll say it. Yeah. So it's very important, but it's also a way for me to do a voice that's not normal. Like people know me as Malibu or Scream or Experiment or different stuff. But this is like my authentic, like what I want to talk about. And then I can get jokes out of it.
No, I love it.
But we're all black. We're all a little bit oversharing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? We had some good times.
Yeah.
I don't share everything, but it's like, it's a little wild how much we're oversharing.
Well, you can't help it, right? Especially when you, I feel like especially I feel like when you have a guest, someone that you like sitting and
Not
chatting
you
with.
and me. I'm saying, but the
world.
culture
is
nuts.
Yeah.
No, you and me are cool, but I'm saying like...
No, I didn't know if you meant like
No.
sometimes you feel like when you're on your podcast, you share more than you want to.
No, I don't mind sharing what I share,
yeah.
but it is an overshare.
Yeah.
It used to be Jay would do you would do your movie, be hilarious, and that's it. You would do your press, and you're done. No one knows your life. No one knows if you do drugs, alone, if you're addicted. No one knows what you're... And now it's like fucking... No. We want to know the size of the needle.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
It is, yeah.
So think about... So we came off the era of I got to work with some legends, and it was like they were so private, and then I'm in the middle of that, and now this super overshare.
Yeah.
I mean, you understand is you were never famous for just existing. You were famous because it wasn't about fame. It was a byproduct. You were a great actor, great singer, great dancer, great writer, great director. Fame came. Then, in our era, really at the beginning of the 2000s, people were famous for just existing.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. It's crazy.
And so...
We were lucky. And I can't even imagine, like, making movies then and, like... That's why I feel like, for me, Mallrats is one of my favorites because... And Strikes Back. Like, just that time, like, running around CBS Radford and... it's just like now I feel like there's a lot of like you're hanging out like me and you're hanging out on set like we want to chat. We're not really chatting because we're like,
I know.
Looking on your phones and fucking scrolling on Instagram and TikTok or all sorts of stuff.
But think about the nightclubs.
Oh, they were fun. I had a blast there.
I know you
God.
did.
Yeah.
Bro, you and Jack.
Yeah, me, Jack.
And Redhead.
McGinnis.
Mike, shout out Mike. You, Jack, and Mike McGinnis lived across from me.
Yes.
And that was at the height of LAX.
Yeah.
And remember my studio?
Yeah.
And Garden of Eden.
Oh, it was awesome.
I mean, yeah. And there was no phones.
No.
And we were living our best.
It really was fun. It was like Craigslist. I remember Mike. A couple of the guys that I know did pranks on people because it'd be like, "Hey, meet me at the club. I'll be holding a couple balloons or something," and they would prank. So I'm just saying, yes, there was no texting like, "Wait a sec, this ain't a real person," or this. It was like, but going to the clubs, it's like. It was really fun, especially for me, like, when I first got sober, 2000. So it was like 2003.
You were sober then?
Yeah, 2003. Yeah, when I was going out, all of us were. That's crazy thing. That whole house was sober.
Really?
Yeah, except for Matt, except for my one friend, Matt.
But did you break the sobriety?
No, not during that period, no.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you guys were living together because you were sober?
Yes.
Okay.
We were living together. We were all sober. Mike ran a couple of the clubs, so we would go there. He would throw these parties. We would order bottles and stuff, so maybe that's why you thought, but we would order bottles. So we'd be like, hey, girls, we got bottles. Come hang out,
Which was, it's... I'm allowed to say, they were bottle rats.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
So here's what was happening so everyone's listening.
Yeah.
You're sober, Jack's sober, but Jack is like 19 maybe?
He's young,
He's 19 or 20?
Yeah.
Maybe 21.
I think he's like probably...
Let's
say
he's
21. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Jay, Jack, and Mike McGinnis, who's the creator of Raya. Okay.
Yeah.
Think about this, guys, who's listening. And then I lived across the street, and I had my own crew. When you guys moved out, then the guy that was one of my music producers, Trugman, moved into your house, so that became another 3 years of wildness. So we would go to LAX. And DJ AM, God rest his soul, was DJing.
Yeah.
And then, the new emerging class of reality stars. So it would be Nicole and Paris. And, and you'd see Britney and the whole. So it was like music stars, Maxim parties.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I don't want to put people on blast. Leo and his posse.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Sports stars over here, Lakers. I mean, it was, and popping bottles and MTV, whatever you're on, MTV or the WB, and it was awesome.
It really was. It was fun. Yeah,
and nobody was documenting that? Like, you got a number by like, yo, like, write your number on the back of this matches.
No, and the worst thing, it was maybe people outside with cameras, maybe, but that was it. Maybe.
And then
they were pretty good at trying to keep that back.
Yeah, it was like Ledoux, and then we would go, and here's the thing, is they would close the club, get everyone out, and then they'd say, okay, now let's go. And then it would stay open. Yeah. And no one would know, and then we would have the super after party.
It was awesome.
And it was
blast.
And it was no harm, no foul.
It's funny because I know is the first
But I was not sober.
No. Well, again, we were. I mean, shoot, I think.
But you were smoking so much.
Yeah.
Were you smoking weed then? No.
No. Yeah, cigarettes. In that time, I was sober for probably. I think I made it 4.5 years almost. But it's funny because I think I know who lived across the street. Is his first name Justin?
Yeah, Trugman.
Yeah. But I still hang.
He would make beats, and he had a song on a B-side of an Eminem album.
But I don't know. Again, I don't know.
I can edit it out, but go ahead.
I still hang with him because his wife and my wife are really good friends.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they're married. Sorry, don't quote me on the wife part, but he's got 2 kids.
Yeah.
3 kids, really. And my daughter is good friends with his daughter, his oldest daughter. What a small world is my point,
right?
Yeah, it's really random. Because
I heard this because I think his wife was told by someone who bought my old house.
Yes.
Who?
I don't know. That person goes to our school too, and they just renovated that house and fixed things up.
But what did she say about my old house?
No,
there was a bed outside.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
She
might
said,
be something
Jamie
different.
had a bed out. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were saying. I feel like the one house you had up in Los Feliz.
Yes,
she bought that.
She bought it.
And
they've been renovating it for. I don't know what they're going to do to it.
They've been renovating. We just talked to them about it recently.
Well,
Briefly,
3.5 years.
Yeah, it's been forever.
I don't know. I don't
know why. Yeah. I don't know what they did to it. I don't know if you had like some dungeons put in there or something, and they're retaking the dungeons out. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's
a nice house. I love that neighborhood. That's we're right there, but on the other side of that.
Well, don't tell people.
Yeah, it's true.
Your crew.
Well, just that area, but yeah,
that neighborhood's a little haunted.
Is it?
Yeah, you'll feel the vibes.
Oh, shit.
So
do hunting there,
dude. So how? Wait. So how did you? Because you're not just like at my height. I haven't drank for years, but it's not because I was sober. It's just because I was like getting fat, and I'd wake up and if I had a glass of wine, it felt like someone punched me in the face.
Yeah.
And so I stopped. I don't really do anything. I could, but
I know you're saying
I'm not even in it. Like I'm so weird now. Like that's about the vibes and all this shit. Yeah. But you went hard. You were doing crack.
In Jersey, on the East, we're Jersey.
Did you have
and you were from the East Coast too, but meth wasn't big, and crack really became big in my area. And when I would go get heroin,
I understand the heroin because they knew a lot of some kids. But
a lot of the dealers started selling crack because they knew it would hook you. Because they give you a couple free rocks of crack, you smoke that or whatever, and then you want to come down. So then you do heroin. And then you want to do more, you start to come down, so you want to do more crack to come up, and then you want to come down.
Dude, so that's like the guy selling you a super salty fucking shawarma, and he knows you're going to buy a Coke.
100%.
Bro.
100%. It's the same thing.
Bro.
So more and more, I started doing more crack, and more of that, because I'd do that, and I want to come down, and I want to go up and then down. And then I started doing, when I got over here, and people were doing speed, and I was like, and it's not even that big here. I was in Tennessee for probably a month, and oh my gosh, I did way too much.
Wait, were you doing rails, Coke?
I was doing Coke. Coke was more, I felt like when I was doing Coke, I had done that from like 21 to when I got sober, and it was more when I was out at clubs and someone like, you want to bump and you want to do some Coke. The problem is I really only liked, after I started shooting intravenous drugs, I only wanted to do it that way. Because if you snorted it, you get a little buzz, but it's not the same as shooting it. So,
do you think that Hollywood, like, because I'll be honest, what's crazy is that, so when was the first time you got that crazy type of high? Like,
so it was all in Jersey and nothing to do with, honestly, with the
Hollywood
business.
How old were you? 15, 16?
I was 21. No, I was old.
Okay.
You know what? My mom got HIV from using drugs. Oh, yeah. So I hated drugs when I was younger. all the way up to 21. 21, I meet a girl. So at 21, I had done Clerks and Mallrats. But like I said, I came back. I was doing construction. I wasn't famous or anything like that. I mean, people started seeing me. Oh, wow, I saw you in this movie, Clerks and Mallrats. But nothing like that. And I wasn't in L.A. I was in New Jersey. I started taking care of my mom, but I was dating this girl, and she was using. And after about 6 months, I was like, man, you always are like falling asleep, and it's weird. And it was my 21st birthday. And I was like, let's go to a bar. I'm 21. And she was like, nah, man, we're just going to get high. Her and my best friend and his girlfriend. There was 4 of us. Actually, him and I worked together. He got a girlfriend, and she brought her friend, and her and I started dating. She was like, to me, she was at 10. I'm like, this girl's never going to hook up with me. This girl's never gonna. And we wind up starting a date. Anyway, long story short, she was like, it's your 21st birthday. I'm like, let's go to a club. Let's go dance. Let's go drink. They're like, nah, man, we're just going to get some dope. And I was like, I don't get it. You're all nodding out. You're dropping your cigarettes and burning stuff. And they're like, you wouldn't understand unless you tried it. And I was like, no way. I said, that stuff's crap. I don't want to be around it even. And they're like, just try. And I was like, you know what? It's my birthday. I want to know what it is like.
No.
Yeah. So I tried it. Me and that girl cuddled. And it honestly, in that 21st birthday with this girl, we made love. And I felt like it was amazing. I'll be honest. In that moment, it was amazing. But and then afterwards, I was throwing up. And I was like, I don't really, it was great, but I don't like it. But then a couple weeks later, she said, come on, let's just hang out and we'll go get a hotel room and we'll make love and we'll do. So then I did a little more. And then I did a little more and it was weekends and then it became 7 days, you know. It just got more and more because you start to physically get addicted to the opiates. That's the problem, right? It's like after a couple days of running with coke, you're like, I just don't want to be around it. You're like, I feel like crap, my head. But with opiates, you start to feel sick, and you're like, I want this to go away. Just like an alcoholic, if you drink too much, or you know. But anyway, so it sort of started from that. Even cigarettes, I hated cigarettes. And it was the same girl. After we had sex.
It's just a siren.
I know. It's crazy.
You know what succubus is?
Yeah, the succubus.
Succubus,
like,
dude.
My soul, right? After we were done having sex, she would smoke a cigarette. And I'm like,
which is European?
Yeah, no, but the cigarettes, I was like, I hate the smell of cigarettes. I'm like, why do you have to do that? She's like, after sex, it's like, you don't understand. So again, I'm like, let me get a couple drags.
Oh, God, she fucking cucked you into it.
Yeah, I'm like, let me get a couple drags. I took a couple drags. I'm like, oh, that is sort of nice. So then I started just smoking a cigarette after sex. But then it became when we would go out, when we do this, when we do that, you know. And there it went for both. Yeah. So
did your mother pass?
So my mom passed.
I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
Right. It's been years. It's been many years. But yeah, it was tough. It was.
You grew up hard. I didn't know you grew up with a mother that was. Were both your parents on drugs? Or
never met my dad.
Never met your dad. So you really had a hard upbringing.
Yeah, so I live with my mom was a dope fiend my whole life, and I lived with my grandma. Then my mom would get sober for 3 years, and she'd bring me back, and she'd take care of me for a couple of years, and then she'd start using again, and then I lived with the random family, and then because my grandma was too old, so then my mom would get sober again. I lived back with her. Then my aunt, she went back to jail for a year, and then I moved in with my aunt. And then my mom got out of jail, and the last time she went to jail for like 8 years, when she got out, she was sick from AIDS. Yeah.
Went to jail for 8 years?
Yeah, for 8 years. From like age of, I think it was, so it was probably about from like the age of like 15 to 23 or something.
For
22.
What?
For selling dope, selling heroin, and stealing. She would steal stuff, and like I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I'd be like, Mom, what's going on in here? And like, it was back in the day with box TVs, the big tube TVs. They'd go to hotels in random people's names, and they would check in under a false name, and then they would rip the TV off the wall, and then so I'd wake up, and there'd be like 10 tube TVs, and they would sell them, and anyway. But anyway, so my mom went to jail for 8 years. I lived with my grandma, then my aunt. And then I got to be old enough where I moved out on my own. I was 17. And then my mom got out of jail when I was like 20-something. Probably about, 2001. Anyway, it was when I was old, and then I took care of her. She got really sick, and I took care of her, and then she passed. And then that's when I sort of moved to LA. It was like when she passed, I sort of like lost my shit. It was like 2001, actually. It was right after Jay and Bob Strikes Back. So when I went back to LA to do press junket for Jay and Bob, but I was so messed up that I had Kevin's like, either I'm sending you back to New Jersey or you're going to go into rehab. So I went to rehab in
Malibu?
In Promises,
Promises, okay.
Yeah, so I went to there and I stayed there. And then that's when I got sober, came out, and moved and stayed out in LA. Sorry. After that, it's like sort of when I stayed out here. 2001, 2 is sort of when I moved out here. I lived with Kevin for a bit after I got out of rehab. Then I moved into that house, the house on Ferris.
You guys were sober.
Yeah, so
Sober
we used to go to the
house.
Coffee Bean right there every
All
day.
the time.
All the time,
You guys
yeah.
remember the Coffee Bean? It was you, it was Jack, it was Mike, it was me, my boy Stu,
Yeah.
Simon, who was Dirt Nasty,
Oh, yeah.
Andy, right,
Yeah.
Milanakis, Milanese, and then Red Foo.
Yep, yeah.
Okay.
Remember, he would sit and write all the time. And you'd be like,
raps,
yeah.
and in the corner recording on a blog,
Yeah.
Perez.
Yes, Perez. Yes, oh my God.
Bro.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
I had some of my craziest meetings there. That was our Coffee Bean, which to this day pisses me off that they turned it into a fucking Starbucks.
I know, they changed.
That was our spot.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Bro, can I just tell you that story, man? I'm like, you got me. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
Like,
all right.
you're like
Thanks.
so from the hood.
Yeah.
Like, you really are a gangster, how you came up. And you're so different now from what I know of you.
Yeah.
Like, you're married.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids. And you're clean as a bean.
Yes, sir.
It's incredible, dude.
Thank you.
But also what's wild is you would do these wild things. I'm going to go back to you, but I'm just going to tell you, I don't realize my upbringing because I had a much different upbringing. I was, I was very fortunate. My parents were together. They lived a long time. But I had weird jobs. And right on the cusp of the suburbs in Philly was a place called 69th Street. And I used to work at a shoe shop when I was 14.
Yeah.
And I would get a commission. And the owner of the shoe shop was the first time he would shoot heroin. Yeah. And everyone knew he was a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And he was shoot heroin in his toe.
Oh, damn, yeah.
Between his 2 toes because he had no veins left. Yeah. And I was like, what's going on? And I thought it was his medicine.
Yeah.
And I didn't know enough about heroin. I was like, oh, that's
yeah.
what he does. And all his veins were collapsed. But now thinking back on it, that's not normal.
No.
But like there was a lot of druggies in our hood that I didn't realize. I know people that are famous, went to prison. I know people unfortunately died. Yeah. So I'm sure Jersey was obviously like that.
Yeah. No, it was, and again, it's worse now even because then it's like. Last time when I moved out here and I go back, like some of my family members, some lived there, my cousins, and like now, like for a while the epidemic was OxyContin because that was like actual doctors prescribed it, and then people were selling it, but it was it's like super addictive like heroin, and yeah, like there was a ton of kids in my town all hooked on oxys later on, like even after I moved But yeah, man, it's tough. Overall, it's tough.
Would you say there's a lot of heroin in Hollywood?
I don't know.
More than people realize. I had heard stories of people that were on heroin I couldn't believe.
Well, it's so taboo to me. Like I feel like heroin's always been a taboo thing.
It was the craziest one, I would think.
Yeah, like people definitely are like, hey man, I got a little cocaine or I got some Vicodin, But heroin never. All the years I went, all the clubbing and all the cool craziness that we talked about earlier. No one in all that time. I definitely got offered bumps of cocaine and maybe a couple Vicodins or Xanax. No one ever was like, yo, you want a little heroin?
Yeah, no.
Never.
I never saw that either. One of the coolest things I saw was I went to an after party. I don't want to drop his name, but Mike, remember Mike Sutton?
Yeah, I think I know.
Remember Zini?
Yeah.
But he would have the best after parties, all great, normal after parties, but always models. And I never did coke. I know people don't believe it in my life because I had a heart problem. But I didn't see like tons of it, but it was always around.
Yeah.
And this hot ass model, I'll never forget it. She came up to me and she goes, mint. And she had a $1 bill and opened it. And I thought it was a mint. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was a Coke.
Yeah.
Through one of the mint things. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And she goes, you're lost. But like, that was just a little bump. She wasn't like a crazy fall down druggie. No. And then she would go swimming in the pool.
Yeah, no.
But exactly. You want a little Viking with your wine? Sure. But
Yeah.
never like, yo, do you want to go do this needle in my fucking
it's
rectum?
never all the time. Yeah, all the years of going out and meeting different people, staying up late. It was rare, like that anyone would ever mention. I don't even think at all. I'm trying to think at any time. Coke for sure, but that was it. I remember a few times I'd go home with people because they'd be like, yo, man, I got more Coke in my house.
Yeah.
And it'd be a random person. Next thing you know, and then I would be like, yo, man, I'm going to do a bump. And they'd be like, you want another line of Coke? And I'd be like, yeah, but you know what? I'm going to save it because I'm a little wired. And I would put it on $1. I'd fold it up and I'd go in the bathroom and I'd shoot it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But how do you shoot a thing of Coke?
Well, because you put it in a...
What?
You put it in a spoon and you melt it down.
Oh, you
with water,
melted it.
And and then you suck it up and then So like I would put it on
You
$1
had
bill.
a needle on you?
Oh yeah. And when it got really bad, I'd always try to keep one on me and try to for the most part. Yeah, it was pretty yucky. And that was for a period out here after, but I know it's gross, bro.
What's crazy is you had this intensity, right? And when like on screen and how you are, you're a I don't give a fuck type of dude. And then when we were shooting Jack's thing, I was masked up, but you were pretty masked up. So I was like, I'm wildly wondering why you were so worried because you had such an intense upbringing, but then you were very precautious during that.
Because of the COVID and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because you know what? I never got it. I never had got it the whole time. And I was so worried about not only getting it, but bringing it home and giving it to my family.
Totally
you know?
true.
So, like, I remember just being like, and forever, even then, I remember when they started opening up the clubs and you go out to two clubs, we do meet and greets or comedy. Like, I still wore them for quite some time.
Yeah, I wore
just
a mask.
because, but knock on wood,
When
man.
I got it.
Did you get it?
I got it twice.
Oh, sorry. You got it twice?
Probably 3 times, yeah.
I got it. I didn't
Did you ever get it?
No.
Never.
Never got it. I swear. I wouldn't lie about it. I never
we
got
can't
it.
even say the thing but did you get the boost? Did you get the shot?
I got that. Yes.
Okay.
I got that. And even the other one. Like I got one and then I went and got one later
You probably didn't need it. You were probably pickled.
I mean,
from drugs. I'm dead
that's
serious.
True. It might be.
Pull that down. Push that down. I'm dead serious.
Oh shit.
Like.
No, just kidding.
But like, don't you think that's a real thing? Like, do you think Keith Richards is pickled? Like, some of the guys on heroin look incredible. I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. shot it or smoked it.
I do think
he's pickled.
people. Yeah, I feel like when you meet, it's like either it really. I feel like it really. I think if you're doing just heroin, yes, I feel like the meth heads and that really breaks them down. But it is people. I mean, I feel like if I didn't smoke cigarettes for 20 years, and I always wonder this, and I shouldn't, but people, and I'm only going from other people's perspective. People are like, oh my God, you look great. You don't look 50, right? I feel like if I didn't smoke cigarettes, I wonder if I would look even a little younger. Like I feel like some of these wrinkles around some of the like creases and stuff in my mouth, I feel like are from me being like, you know what I mean, constantly for 20 years. So I wonder if I didn't smoke. So, but yeah, I do think and I think that's almost, there's so much stress involved. Heroin is not a good thing, but I do feel like you're, like, I don't know if it's because you're like so relaxed and you're like, yo, bro, all's good. And there's no stress lines, and there's no...
Bro, no, you look great. And
Thanks.
I'll say this, though. I don't think I'm a heroin addict because the few times I've taken it at the hospital, like when I've gone in for procedures...
Oh, yeah, Demerol and stuff,
or they'll give me a Norco or something.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And I'll feel amazing.
Yeah.
But then I'll start feeling like I gotta puke. And I haven't puked, but I'll be like, that whatever that is...
Nauseous,
yeah. After hours.
No, I know what you're saying. It's almost good, yeah.
So people don't want to feel, that feeling is intense.
Yeah.
So I understand it's the whole, I don't know enough, but it's like you do one. I understand a little bit, not like you, the chasing, the dragging, because you do really don't have a care in the world.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying. You're
I don't
saying
know
the first 30 minutes, well, after it kicks in,
couple
let's say,
hours,
you're like, wow, this is amazing.
taxes, auditions,
yeah,
pods, you're set. Your fucking chick hollering at you. Your
No,
money.
Yeah, you're like,
no,
whatever,
bro.
man. Yeah.
Fucking, I don't give a fuck.
You're like, yeah, it's all good.
All good.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
But then you start that fucking.
No, yeah,
I can't only imagine.
No, I have. I mean, I think it's. I feel like my wife's the same way. She can't take pain medicine, otherwise she feels sick.
Good for her.
Which is good. You're right, because it's like, well, thank goodness, because then you don't have to worry about being like, oh, I like that too much. Like anyway. But yeah, so it was.
Dude, how it's unbelievable because I didn't know your shit was that intense. You're a fucking super warrior, bro.
Thank
you're
you.
You're a
So
winner. You're an animal.
Thanks.
Like it's unbelievably beautiful, dude.
Thanks.
And I love that you're on the circuit. You're doing comedy. You know, you're doing your pods. And you and Kevin, when you go to cons, you've got your own thing, and it's huge.
Yeah.
So when we first did our Jack haunt together.
Yes.
You and Jack first looked for Bigfoot. That's another, like, I think I
Yes.
have 8 things that people talk to me about. That is now one of them.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They go, yo, when are you and Jay and Jack going to go out again? The Triple
know.
J's.
So bummed because you know that I don't know if they ever sent to you. His producer had like written up a really awesome breakdown
For all of us.
Yeah,
To
for
do a
me,
show.
Yeah,
It was
really good ideas.
What was it going to be?
It was like going to do movies, like haunted or really cool things based on movies or books, and we go look and explore those things. Like, hey, this movie was written about this house and how people supposedly someone was died.
Like The Conjuring.
Yes, yeah, and we go look, or the Jersey Devil, and I thought it was great, and the write up. But I do remember, again, it was in that weird period where like it was right before the strike, maybe.
Well, did you hear? I mean,
But I think it would be great.
There was a write up. I'm just gonna say the platform was Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
We were gonna do adventures, and one of the notes were dated 3 white guys.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That was some of the feedback they were.
Well, it was just like,
yeah.
But why? We all have a chemistry.
Yeah.
So it was like that was one of the notes I had heard.
Yeah.
Can we have a lead with 3 white guys? But I mean, that was our little click of what we did.
Of course, yeah, for
But,
sure.
Man, I don't know.
It's tough. It's a bummer because I think something like that for me would
Could
be
work.
so yeah, and I think it would be so much fun. Like, I don't know. That's something I've been like do all these years, like entertainment, doing like I love doing the stand up and I love doing movies and all. But I'm like, man, if I could get on a show like that and just go hang with my boys for like 2 weeks or wherever, how long we were there, and then like we go home for a month, couple weeks, a month, then we go out for another 2 weeks to another city together. It was so much fun.
What were you
honestly had so much fun.
What were you more freaked out at, Utah or Illinois?
Oh, I definitely think. I think there was moments. I feel like there was a few when I was down in the quiet and hearing the noise. The box when the voice box went off.
That was in Illinois.
Pretty cool.
That was in
Illinois.
the Illinois place was scary, but I didn't like the fact that it became a destination. So other people, it became like a famous haunt.
Yeah.
So you would actually see people's like initials or
I know what you're saying.
and there was like merch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it definitely had a vibe. It was definitely
Yes.
creepy. The dogs, but Utah, I believe we saw a skinwalker.
Oh yeah. Outside,
That
you're right.
was
That's true.
Freaky.
It was awesome.
The helicopter, I know that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I remember going, I would like love the pilot and everything, but I'm like, we weren't allowed to fly over the air zone.
Yeah.
We were allowed to fly around it. So I felt better, but I was like, if we go over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's like
It's
Jack
true.
got us all into explaining the energy and the electromagnetic. So it was trippy.
It was. And definitely I feel like no one still can explain what that walker was. Whatever that was, it was real. Like we saw it. Everyone saw it and we saw it. No one knows what it is. So you're right. I like that because even the box, I feel like the box was freaky, but I feel like we might have heard what we wanted to hear. But you know what I mean?
No, it could have been a frequency, but that walker, it was like 3 a.m., like the witching hour. It's the problem. The thing is that we were in the middle of miles of barren.
Yeah.
Like nothing. No one goes. We could barely get out there.
No.
And then to see this thing that was definitely on 2 legs.
Yes.
Through the heat and the way it covered, It's truly freaky.
No, it is.
And we don't know where it went.
No, remember even we had one of the guys was like a full-on marathon runner / hiker / and he tried to go as fast as he could and he couldn't keep up with the speed of whatever that was.
No.
So it's like, it doesn't even seem like possible almost, right? It was crazy.
Dude,
it was cool.
And how about when we talked to the I want to say the medicine man, but like the chief or the super under chief, and we were talking about his ancient burial ground.
Yes.
That he said you don't talk about it. He's like, we don't talk about it. And once he said that, his nose started to bleed. Yeah. That was insane.
No, there's some weirds. It was good. You're right. That was a good one.
To me,
that was a good one.
And we were there a whole week.
No, we got to do. I wish we could do more. We should just do more. We should get right now Jack's, but we should like Jack. Maybe a couple months from now or so, we should be like, let's just do it ourselves. Let's just bring some gear. I feel like Jack's got gear.
No, he does.
Look, we could bring that camera right there, the Lumix.
Yeah.
And we just do it. Kyle could come with us and follow us. Right, Kyle?
But dude, like, are you into it? Because I'm more into it since the shows.
I'm not any more or less into it. I just had a blast, and I can't explain some of it.
But like, what about the UFO stuff now? Are you understanding what they're saying? Are you following what's going on?
No.
Okay, so do you remember Jeremy Corbell?
Yeah.
He was the guy we talked to on Zoom.
Yeah.
He's one of the top UFO explainers. And you know how Jack would say staggered disclosure. You know what disclosure is, right?
Yeah.
So staggered is they give us. So you know what Project Bluebeam is, right?
I think.
I'm going to tell you. So Project Bluebeam is they say is the last invasion, meaning that in the conspiracy world, all the governments get together, they fake an alien invasion to make us all one world government, and it's to control us like minions. And AI will have the power and we'll be bitches.
Okay.
So right now, stay with me. Are you familiar with what they're saying about the object that's coming in November?
No.
Okay. Well, Jeremy Corbell talks about it too. So they're saying we're going to be invaded in mid-November.
Okay.
A Harvard scientist. It's in actually mainstream news.
Okay.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, I just go with the flow, bro.
You got the flow. But what happens when they got a probe on you, dog?
I mean, what can I do about it? I had some dude I was playing Call of Duty with. He's like, bro, we're playing the game, right? And we're running around, we're playing. And I'm like, oh, dude, man, this team's pretty good. All of a sudden he goes, hey, man, I just bought like a $1,000 freaking radioactive suit. Full suit, covers my whole body. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, my friend told me that no doubt that in the next couple months, we're going to be like taken over and we're going to be blasted with radiation and stuff. And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, so I went and bought a suit. I'm like, dude, let me dissolve into pudding. I don't want to be like in a suit. I would get claustrophobic. I wouldn't want to be.
You get claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Bro, you do.
Exactly.
You really
I didn't even want to get on the helicopter. Remember? I was so scared.
But wait, what? Because the helicopter was that wasn't claustrophobia.
Well, no, because I felt my problem is when I'm in something, I feel like if I'm trapped and I can't get out. This fear was if we're up in the helicopter, if I'm like, bro, I'm a little nervous. Can we turn around and go back down?
And you can't.
He's like, no. When we are up there, we're stuck.
Yeah.
And that freaks me out. Planes almost freak me out, but I have to zone out every time because I know I have to fly to go to work.
I've flown with you. You're a good flyer.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I've got myself, but every once in a while, if I sit there, let's say like it starts to get real hot, they haven't turned the AC cricket, and there's something going on. They're like, hey, sorry, folks, it's taking a delay because whatever. They're like, the door's not closing properly. We're about to fix it. If we're sitting there too long, I get freaked myself out where I'm like, oh my God, I'm in this tube in the air for like 6 hours. Like, I don't want to be stuck in there. Like I start to freak myself out. Like,
no. Yeah.
So it's that. Elevators, no thank you.
Really?
During Skankfest, I almost slept in the casino because I didn't want to go up the 50 flights the 50th floor they put me on.
And Circa?
Yeah, no, I don't remember what hotel, whatever it was. Yes, 50 floors up, and I was like,
I
don't wanna
love
do
that
it.
hotel.
It was brand new, right? Like
Yeah.
but I don't like that. It's like you got to press a button. It's like go in elevator B, and then you get in B, and then you go up 50 flights. I didn't like it. I'm like, what if this gets stuck on like the 42nd floor, in between 2 and 3?
But that's what's fascinating, bro. You did heroin. This is what's fascinating to me. You've done heroin.
Yeah.
You've probably been in some of the most sketch sitches.
True.
But you were like, I don't want to get on the Southwest.
It's
I don't.
Kevin laughs about that all the time. Kevin's like, you were always using sanitizer and you're a germaphobe, but you used to smoke crack and heroin and share
off a fucking dirty fucking
out of
bottle
a
cap.
bunghole.
Yeah, bunghole.
He'd be like, bro, I've been boofing this here. The cops came, I boofed it, but do you want it? I'd be like, fucking give it to me.
Wait, when you boof something, what is that?
You put something in your butt, you hide it. So like, let's say you gave me a little
a real
balloon
term?
of tar heroin, yeah.
Okay.
You boof it. Like,
So you go and
that's how some people get drugs in the prisons. Like people do heroin in prisons because they'll boof it. And then that's why they make you do a search, cavity search, because people put things in their booties.
So it's called boofing. So you put a bag of heroin up your ass.
Anything really. It can be a vial, a tube.
And you hope it doesn't break.
You hope it don't break.
'Cause if
You
it
hope
does,
it
you'll be
doesn't
dead.
fall out. Yeah, no.
So you put it up there,
Yeah.
but don't they now scan you?
Well, I think they spread your cheeks and look and stuff. You're probably hard to get away with. But let's say I was walking out of here. I just got you just gave me a big vial of crack. And I walk out and there's a bunch of cops there and they're like, yo. And I could try to boof it real quick, thinking even if they pat me down, they're not going to put their finger in my butt to feel it, you know? Matter of fact, I have a little heroin in my butt right now while we're talking. Because I knew Kyle might search me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wait. So have you smoked crack that's been boofed?
I don't know. I don't know of it. And I honestly have never seen someone
Pull it out of their ass.
But it's possible. But when I was in the deeps of I did some gross stuff. Like I needed water once, and I fucking took toilet water and pulled the water from the toilet and shit. Which again, I flushed it, but there's still gross bacteria and shit in there. And I used that water to fucking shoot my veins. Yes.
Bro, but you're incredible. You've come out the other side. You're healthy, right? Everything.
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you.
And you're like a fucking for people that don't realize this about you, you're a super responsible guy. You're a wonderful husband. You're a great dad. You have a house and your life, and you have an actively super busy career.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, thank you.
It's inspiring, to see somebody go through that.
Yeah.
Because it's Hollywood's nothing compared to that.
What about you? You thinking about getting married, or is that something
That's a whole other podcast.
You're like, let's sign up for another one next week, baby.
Well, you know how it is.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a big step. It is a big that and kids. I mean, I love it so much, but it is I'm just moving nonstop.
Because we have different personalities, and you were into drugs more, and I wasn't. But I'm a self-involved person, but I don't know if you're so self-involved. I don't think you are. I think you're a giving person. When you have children,
sacrifice. Yeah.
Do you feel like
nonstop. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like I'm yeah. It's I just think constantly about them, and that's all I feel like I'm and then I get frustrated.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally. It's not. It's that unconditional love, and but it's even this, again, me coming here, part of everything got off balance because my kid didn't want to go to camp today, and so she's like, Daddy kept coming in. I'm like, I need to eat something. I'm gonna run there, grab some food, and come right home do this phone call thing and then drive to Jamie's. And then she's like, I want to come with you. Please, can I come with you? And I'm like, and then I go, I'm like, all right, fine, come with me. I go. Then right as I get my food, she's like, well, wait a sec. I wanted something. I'm really hungry. So I had to go back in and get more food for her. So that took an extra 7-8 minutes. And then this took an extra 7-8 minutes. So everything sort of got, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's like, so yes, it's just like, I feel like it's like that. My son wakes me up 6 a.m. every morning. And so if I go to bed at, like last night I got home from the show and everything, it was probably midnight almost. And then time I fall asleep and it's like I get like 5 hours sleep. So yeah, there's many moments where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do that.
And you're on tour every weekend?
I go through periods, right? Through. So sometimes, this month actually, I've been home a lot. I just did leave town. I did Spokane, Seattle, but I hadn't done anything for a month. But before that, I was away every weekend, like for about 5 weekends in a row. So I go through these phases where it's like, I have a comic convention one weekend, and the next weekend I'm here for 3 days. One show on Thursday, 2 Friday night, 2 Saturday night. At whatever, wherever it might be. And then the following weekend, same thing. So yeah, it's really like, my wife, luckily my wife's a big part of, she schedules and all that. She also is business partners with Kevin. They opened up, so.
Really?
Yeah, she produced Kevin's last 3 movies, Clerks 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
so she was his producer before you guys
No, later. Like her and I met. She was going to UCLA to go to law school. Wow. So she was there, and when she graduated, she took a year off. And Kevin and I were touring with Jay and Bob Get Old. We just started, and
that's what it's called.
It was called Jay and Bob Get Old. We did it for about 10 years or so, many years ago. But he started being like, oh, my God, can you maybe book this flight? Can you call and find out about this? And he asked her to do a few things, and she's very organized and smart. And he's like, oh, my God, your wife's so smart. And he asked her to produce one of his indie movies. She did, and then he's like, hey, will you just become business partners? And they opened up this company called Smodco, and that's his touring business, my touring business, our touring business, our comic book, all of our merchandise, our comic book store, our movies. So Jordan does all, produces it's a big part of that. Her and Kevin's account that he's had forever. So it's great. It really is. It's very helpful. As you know, I feel like your lady seems very hands-on with helping out with this stuff. Yeah, and it's so helpful, right? Mm-hmm. More so than by yourself, where you're like, oh, damn, wait a sec, do I have to pay that electric bill? Wait.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? That stuff scares the shit out of me. Well, it did anyway, but.
So how many comic stores do you own?
We just have the one in Red Bank. Yeah.
Red Bank.
Yeah. We did open one in Westwood many years ago, and it was open for about 3 years. But the rent for the building was just way too much money, and it was right on the main strip in Westwood. It was nice though. It was super nice. And it did decent, but it just didn't really equal out. Like the pay for the employees, the merch, the rent alone was like, I forget what it was, like $10,000 a month or something, just for that, I don't know. But yeah, so that lasted a few years. But yes, mainly just right now we have the comic book store. Kevin owns a movie theater in our hometown where we grew up. It's a 3-theater movie theater, like where we grew up. We used to go to the movies when we were kids. It's pretty crazy. He bought it, and inside upstairs is an apartment. Next to it is a couple office spaces and an ice cream store. Well, right now it's an office.
And he premieres his movies there?
Yeah, he shows movies there. He does events there. Like his birthday just was, like I said, the 2nd. He had a birthday thing where he screened a movie, and then afterwards he took pictures and signed stuff, and it was like a birthday party / event.
Does he live in New Jersey or?
No, he lives here, but he goes back and forth.
He goes back and forth. Yeah. Wow. Well, bro, I want to thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
I'm glad we got to do this, really.
Thank you for doing this. I know you got a crazy schedule. So let's tell people where they can find you and what you're doing.
Jay Mewes, JayMewes.com is like my website with all my live shows where I'm going to be doing my stand-up, Diary of a Man-Child, in the next few months. We're going to be doing a Jay and Silent Bob cruise. That's in February of next year. Yeah, please come.
Whoa.
Yeah, we did it last year. 2 years ago, we did it Miami to Bahamas. And we had like live podcasts. We had Soul Asylum.
Whoa.
This year, we're going to have a bunch of bands.
Whoa. How many people?
About 2,000 people showed up on
Wow.
the cruise. Yeah, it was fun.
And you was your guys' cruise?
Yeah, it was straight up our cruise. It was cool. It was
wow.
really cool. We have our own comic convention too called Chronic Con in Chicago, which is coming up in October. But mainly all of this you can find out on Jay Mewes on my social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook are all JayMewes, because I always post like, hey, and this 2 days from now I'm going here, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. And then my live shows, like I said, are on the website, jaymewes.com. Twitch, I stream almost every day. I try to play for about an hour of some Call of Duty, Fortnite, because Kevin and I have our own operator skins. That's like you could play as Jay or Silent Bob.
You play as your character?
Or Blunt Man or Chronic. Yeah, and you could play with teams of 6. So it's me plus 5 of my friends, and all of us will be either Blunt Man and Chronic or Jay and Bob. And so when you're fighting us, we're running through the maps as like there's 6 J's.
Dude.
And it says stuff too in the game. And like, snooch to the nooch. And I'm like, yeah. And then it'll be like, I'm going to rip off your head and tear out your fucking soul. Yeah, like shit like that. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's fun. It's fun. So check it out. Twitch, Jay Mewes on Twitch, and Call of Duty. Come play games with me.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Love you, man.
Love you, bro.
Thank
Thanks.
you.